it's raining a lot. And it's 40 degrees outside. 42, but still 40.
It's pretty warm in here, huh?
And welcome to the 8th day of Wilderness Guide School. Super rainy, kind of cold outside. We started the first day of pack school. Learning about meals and knots and how to bring heavy stuff up mountains or pack out heavy meat.
Friction. I want everything to be pretty even and on a flat line across the mule.
Parallel to the deck.
So when this friction back here, if you can get it to go in the hole, is sitting a little high like that, makes me a little concerned. But other than that, I mean, friction's not bad back here, which is good. Not clipped to the salmon ring. Breast collars got enough room. Huh, Butch? You remember this big boy?
What's up, Mr. Cassidy?
You see, this is our knot. Did you mess with this at all?
No, I lost this side.
Yeah, this is our knot.
Okay.
So if you want ours, if you just yank it.
Cranker yanker.
So, yeah, throw some baby powder on it. But see, now that I got all this, I can just pop that down, pull it tight. So if I wanted to
get it nice and tight.
pull it there, that's how I would do it. But show me how Todd's having doing yours.
Okay, I see a lot of people kind of lounging towards the front of them, just standing there on the hitching rail and stuff like that. Okay, that's not a good place to be. Okay, because they can pull back and then they rock it forward and you're smashed. Okay, so be really aware of where you're at when you're working around these animals, and that's not a real good place. Another thing, just to kind of point it out, not that I saw it at all, but when you get your gear, saddles, pads, and packable stuff, you don't want to set it up towards the front. You want to set it behind them. Okay, so they.
Zach, trying to isolate them.
What's up, big boy?
In that back corner.
Don't let him, Mitch.
Don't get near that. There you go. Keep him in that corner. Get him alone. Yeah, there we go.
Daily, out. There we go. Sit down.
There you go. Easy. All right. Stop. No pressure. Keep him alone. Don't let him come right at you either.
Turn around, stop.
Hi, Mom.
All right, transition next quarter. Going wide. Buck. Young John.
Yeah, he's only about 6 or 7.
Both of them, get. Come on. Come on.
We really needed to catch that mule. It needs new shoes.
You know, we've been talking about just a little bit of this and that about packing history, rules, donkeys, and that sort of thing. And I mentioned this thing, as Tom pointed out, this is about customer service and serving people well. That's really biblical too for you guys that are believers. So, I mean, we're here to serve. That's why I think we're here. It doesn't mean you have to think that. But if you want to get good tips, if you want to get along with the clientele that come, I mean, most of my neighbors, what they tell me, they tell this to me every time I see them and we talk about my business, is that they go, I'm glad you're doing that and I'm not. These guys saddled and all that, and I'm not just saying that, but there's sometimes just some little things that I want to change. Sometimes the saddle, we can't adjust it to where I want it either. Okay, understand that, especially those damn Conways, you know, stuff like that. But let's just kind of take a look and pick these saddles apart. And as we get a little farther that way, I want you guys to be the critics, okay? More forward than it is behind, okay? So if we see anything down that way, here's the center of that wheel, or the most circumference, and it's got to be forward of that. And that, I guess, if you're gonna come up with a rule of thumb, it might be about halfway from the
Get out of the way, boy. Oh, it's just barely. Can it go up anymore?
Well, try and get it out of the halter, but tight. Pull this guy through, holding the tension with that. Now you're getting it tight.
What do you got there?
We did our first, what is it, mating it. We're wrapping our first pack. I don't know the correct vocabulary for it.
What do you got there, Mitch?
Sandbags. No, it's a makeshift elk quarter. We're working on manning up and packing.
Nice.
Keith did a great job.
Another day working on becoming a dolphin hunting guide.
You know, the Navy had people who trained dolphins just without land hunt. Isn't that all that?
For this ride, we're gonna hand them to you, okay? But you might be by yourself. More than likely later on you will be. So I just got this mule in this hand. I might have a whole string of them here, so I would have to do that very quickly, or they'll get all wound up in each other. As soon as you get in the saddle, you should be ready to go. You should be moving. The safest place for you to be when you got mules behind you is moving.
Did we just go back now? Okay. Circles. No, that's not pretty van. That's a party van there.
Yeah, you understand, Shamus.
Party van.
With a few extra hauls in.
I love the way it moves.
Is its walk smoother?
Good mule. Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Walking your mule on a wide trail like that, should you use your horse to kind of cut him off to make sure he's behind you and doesn't catch up on the side?
You know, every mule, that's a really good question. Every mule is a little bit different, and as long as they got their head up and they're
Nelson. Colin, how was that ride for you?
Well, I got paired with the alpha of the pack, and somehow we started out in the back of the group, and he didn't like that, so I had a mule behind me, and I was dragging the mule for about 5 feet, and then me and Cal were going approximately 65 miles an hour past all the other horses, so we're still in one piece.
So there's a hierarchy with horses, and the boss usually wants to be in front. So we had our first official day of pack school today. Even though we had a little snippet, a little appetizer of it last night with tying knots and just an intro of our instructor Todd Jones, who is, I would say, a wise older gentleman with wisdom to share, and he loves sharing it, and also, from the sounds of it, a good solid spiritual life too, of knowing the Bible and reading it. So we did talk about some spiritual things too. But back to the mules. Mules are really interesting creatures because, well, on the chromosome side of things, horses have 64, donkeys have 62, so mules have 63 chromosomes. So they have that floater, and maybe that's why they're sterile and they can't reproduce. But so it's just interesting that they have they're just really awesome animals. And today was cool because we learned how to pack mules, or just throw the pack on the saddle packs and stuff, and strap them up and take them off and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, we each saddled up a horse and we took a mule out for a ride, and that was interesting. Throwing a mule into the equation of going out for a ride really changed the atmosphere of the ride, and just it was really exciting, and there were some loose mules on the run, so it was a pretty exciting ending to our day. And I got my tent mates here who might have a few interesting things to say too.
I had a pretty good day learning how to drag mules. Not as bad as you would think. We had a few floaters. I think everybody is starting to learn that horses are not just vehicles, they're independent creatures, and we're all getting really better at riding.
Yes, we are. Pat, how was your day, man?
I rode a mule for the first time, and that was pretty neat. Definitely a little bit different, but it makes you a better rider, so you gotta keep trying different stock. And the packing was awesome. Learned some knots and learned how to put a pack saddle on, and the differences between the pack saddles was pretty interesting too.
It's gonna be a great week, guys.